Dear students, today's topic of my lecture, Unit 3, Laws of Motion, Chapter 5, Part 1. So what you have to learn in this Part 1 of the Chapter 5, first of all, I discuss Aristotle's fallacy and Galileo's observation, then Newton's first law of motion, after that inertia, inertia of rest, inertia of motion, then we discuss some examples of inertia. So one by one you understand. The first one is Aristotle's fallacy. So according to Aristotelian law of motion, an external force is required to keep a body in motion. But it was proved wrong by Galileo and Isaac Newton. So what is the observation of the Galileo that we have to discuss here? The Galileo observations is here, means the two inclined planes are taken, and onto the one inclined plane a ball is placed, and when this ball is released, then you see that the ball moves or roll down, and then it move up onto the second inclined plane. If we say that the ideal condition is there, means no external forces are acting, then the height of the ball in the second inclined plane is the same as it has in the first inclined plane. But if in the real practice we talk about it, then the height of ball in the second inclined plane is less than the first inclined plane. So that's why we say that in actual practical situation, the height of the second plane is always a little less but never be greater. So this is the observation of the Galileo. So from here it is very clear that no external force is required to keep a body in motion. Another observation which I have taken, that a ball is released in this first diagram and then reaches to its same height. But in second case, if the ball we release it, then it reaches to the same height but travel a greater distance. And in the third diagram we take, or the third case when we take, a ball is released and then it move up to the infinite distance. So what we observe that a ball released from rest in case 1 reaches the same height on the other side in the absence of friction. In case 2, the ball reaches the same height on the other side but travel longer distance. In case 3, when the ball is released, then the ball roll down and continue to move in the horizontal direction through infinite distance. In all the 3 cases, we are considering there is no friction, that is the absence of friction. So from here it is very clear that no external force is required to move this ball. So from these observations, Galileo arrived at the new insight that the state of rest and state of uniform linear motion are equivalent. In both the cases, there is no net force acting on the body. Therefore, there is no need to apply an external force to keep a body in uniform motion. We need to apply external force only to encounter the frictional or any other force, so that the forces sum up to the 0 and net external force that is 0. Then to summarize, if net external force is 0, a body continue to remain at rest and the body in uniform motion continue to move with uniform velocity. This property of the body is basically known as inertia. And inertia means resistance to change of state. So Galileo then formed a law which is known as Galileo law of inertia by these observations. So a body does not change its state of rest or uniform motion unless an external force compels to change the state. So that is the Galileo law of inertia. Means a body does not change its state of rest or uniform motion unless an external force compels to change its state. That is called Galileo law of inertia. Now we define the Newton's first law of motion. According to this law, every body continued to be in its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless and until compelled by an external force to change its state of rest or uniform motion. In simple words, we can say that if net external force on a body is 0, then its acceleration is 0. Or acceleration can be non-zero only if there is a net external force on the body. Now we take one example here. This is one table. A block is placed over to this table. The weight of this block is acting downward and normal reaction acting upward, and that is exerted by the table. Now since the block is at rest, so that's why the normal reaction must equal and opposite to the weight. But what happens if we apply a force onto this block? Then it changes its state of rest into motion. At present, you can see here the block remains at rest. As we apply the force, then the block moves horizontally. Similarly, we take another example. A ball continues to be in uniform motion unless we are not applying any external force to change its state of motion into a state of rest. That you can see here. Similarly, we take another example. A car is moving to continue moving in a uniform motion. So until we are not applying any external force, then the state of rest or motion cannot be changed. That we change only when we apply the external force. So here these are the three examples which we have taken. In the first example, what we are saying, initially the block remains at rest. When the force is applied, then the state of block which is at rest changes into motion. In the second example, the ball continued to be in a uniform motion, and then when we apply a force to stop this ball, then its state of motion gets changed into state of rest. That is possible only when external force applied on it. But in the third example, what we are saying that a car is continued to be in uniform motion, then it will remain in the uniform motion in the absence of external force. So this is about Newton's first law of motion. Now inertia. Inertia basically is the inherent property of the body due to which it resists a change in state of rest or uniform motion. Inertia can be understood in parts like inertia of rest, inertia of motion and inertia of direction. So which physical quantity measure the inertia? That is, the mass is a measure of inertia of a body. Heavier objects have more inertia than lighter objects. For example, we take a stone of size of a football. Means football and stone size are the same. Then stone has more inertia than football because its mass is more. Similarly, we take another example. A cricket ball has more inertia than a rubber ball of the same size. Now, one animation you can see that here the one example of inertia of rest. Here there is a carom board is there and the coins are placed here, and this is the striker. When this striker is pushed with the help of an external force, then what happens you can see here, only the lower coin on which the striker strikes that move. Rest of remains same because of the inertia of rest. Similarly, we take another example. We take a one tumbler, or you can take a glass, place a cardboard over to it and a coin, and when you apply a force on it, then what happens? Then the coin will fall in the glass. That is because of the inertia of rest. Now, similarly, the other examples we take of the inertia of rest. A passenger in a bus jerk backward when the bus starts suddenly because the passenger tends to be in inertia of rest, where the bus is moved away forcefully. Means what happens as the bus suddenly starts, then the lower part of the body of the passenger that comes in the motion, but the upper part remains in rest. That's why the passenger feel a jerk in backward direction. That is because of the inertia of rest. Second one is when a bed sheet is flicked away suddenly, dust particles fall away as they tends to be in the inertia of rest. When a branch of the tree carrying a mango is suddenly flicked, mango falls off due to the inertia of rest. Means the branches they comes in motion, but the mango which is attached to the branches that remains at rest. So that's why it get fall down. Now some examples of inertia of motion. A passenger in the bus jerk forward when the bus stops suddenly because the passenger tends to be in inertia of motion, whereas the bus is stopped forcefully. Means when the bus stops suddenly, then the lower part of the passenger that comes in the rest, but the upper part still is in motion. So that's why the passenger feel a jerk in forward direction. Second example, an athlete after reaching the finishing point cannot stop suddenly, or if he or she stops suddenly, then he or she falls toppling head down because of inertia of motion. Third one is a car takes some time and move through some more distance before coming to rest even after the application of brakes. That is also because of inertia of motion. Fourth example, a rotating fan continued to do so for some more time even after the current is switched off. That is also because of inertia in motion. An oscillating simple pendulum bob does not halt at the mean position but continue to move further. That is also because of inertia of motion. Similarly, there are some more examples. When a car or the bus suddenly around a sharp corner, we tend to fall sideways because of our inertia to continue to be motion in a straight line. This is also an example of the inertia of direction. Now the next one is, it is dangerous to jump out of a moving bus because the jumping man's body is in the state of inertia of motion, but when legs are suddenly stopped by the ground and hence he topples down. Means as he touches the ground, then its lower part comes to the rest, but the upper part still is in motion. That's why he may topple down. So it is very dangerous. If you like my video, then like it, subscribe, press the bell icon, stay safe, stay healthy, learn physics by my YouTube channel. Thank you and have a nice